Hello and welcome to W131 Reading, Writing, and Inquiry. My name is Jennifer Mahoney and I'm going to be your instructor for this online section for this semester. As we get started on this orientation, there are probably a couple of documents that you want to have with you and available to refer to as I'm chatting about the course. The first one is our syllabus, and the top of it looks something like this. The other document that you might want to get hold of is the assignment sheet for our one-page writes, and the syllabus is available in the syllabus section of OnCourse. The one-page writes assignment sheet is available in the OPW folder in OnCourse resources. First thing, just to kind of give you an idea of who you're going to be dealing with this semester. As I said, my name is Jennifer Mahoney, and you can refer to me as Mrs. Mahoney. You can refer to me as Jennifer. A lot of my students just call me JPM. Those are my initials, and that's how I generally sign all of my emails and messages, so you'll see that a lot. That I'm really not that formal, so it's not that big a deal. I have been at IUPUI for 14 years in the English department, teaching primarily composition, and I am also an assistant director in our University Writing Center, which I will talk about a little bit more later. I have 2 kids, a cat who is very old, a husband who is not as old, and a frog. And we're West Siders, so we're way out in Hendricks County. I tend to be a bit of a night owl, so you will probably see me online late at night after my kids are in bed, when I can actually write and correspond with you and get a coherent thought written out onto the screen. As far as W131 is concerned, this is an intense writing course. It's a writing class, so you are going to be doing a lot of writing. And if you are taking W131 in an online section because you think it's going to be easier or require less time, let me disabuse you of that misconception right now. It is not easier to take the online section, and it will take much more time than a face-to-face section would. And if you think about it, it makes sense. If I were to have you in a face-to-face section and you had a question, you could ask me after class or during class discussion, and it would take approximately 2 minutes for us to interact and for me to answer your question. In an online section, you have to log into the computer. You have to go into OnCourse and decide whether you're going to send me a message, or you're going to put something into a forum, or you're going to see if I'm on chat. And then you have to physically write the question down, and then you have to wait for me to respond, and it could be 24 hours. I do check my online classes every day except on breaks, but sometimes if I've just checked at 10 p.m. and you post your question at 10:30, I may not see it until the next evening. So it does take more time. It's just not a good idea to try and take an online section if you are trying to save time, or if you're trying to fill the credit in the easiest way possible. This isn't it. So rethink your decision to take the online section if you had made those assumptions when you registered for the class. We do need to go through our syllabus. There is a quiz over the syllabus and over this video that you will need to complete by Sunday night of the first week of classes. So if you don't have this printed out, you may want to either pull up another window on your computer, or if you have another screen, tablet or something, just have that available so that you can refer to it. We're just going to kind of go through and hit the highlights. I know you all can read, so I'm not going to read every word of these 6 pages. Up at the top is my contact information. As I said, I'm an assistant director in the Writing Center, so even though I do have an office on the 5th floor of Kavanaugh, I'm not here that often. I am certainly in the Writing Center more often. So If you have an emergency or you haven't heard from me for some reason in a couple days, maybe I didn't get your email, maybe I accidentally deleted it, something happened, you can always try and get a hold of me in the Writing Center, give me a call or stop by, and I may be in there. But I'm usually really good at answering email. So if you haven't heard from me on course in a timely fashion, send me an email at jpmahone@iupui.edu. I should let you know there is another Jennifer Mahoney on campus, and sometimes my email ends up going to her if you just try to find me in the IUPUI directory. So make sure you're getting the right Jennifer Mahoney. I was here first, so I have the jpmahone@iupui.edu address. W131, as I said, is an intense course. It is a writing course, but we also talk about reading. And we do it in a context that allows you to kind of explore various issues in our society. I don't use a reader for this course. I actually will be providing you with a variety of articles on many different subjects. So I'm hoping that you will have some options to choose subjects that you like to write on. And I find that students do a lot better writing if they are actually interested in the topic that they've been given. So I try to give you some choices, and I try to look for several different topics and issues that might hit numerous people in the class so that you have that opportunity to write about something that you're actually engaged in. On the first page, we have our course goals listed here, and it looks like 6 bullets. There's a lot here. There's a lot of information in those 6 bullets, and we will be doing a lot of work toward achieving those course goals. We do have one required textbook. It is a rhetoric. It's called the Allen and Bacon Guide to Writing. The edition that we are using has a blue and white cover. There's a picture of it on course. There are so many editions of this particular textbook out there, and I will be honest, the publisher doesn't make a lot of changes between editions. They just kind of tend to move stuff around. So if you have another edition of Allen and Bacon, you will probably be okay. You'll see on the schedule in the syllabus that I have listed in parentheses the names of the chapters in addition to just the numbers or the page numbers. So if you have a different edition, Chapter 5, Reading Rhetorically, might actually be your Chapter 3, Reading Rhetorically. So there's a little wiggle room with the textbook. One thing that I will ask, though, is if you have a previous edition or a different edition of our textbook, do not keep coming to me and asking, okay, I see on this week we're supposed to read Chapter 11. What is that in my edition? I don't know. I don't have all of the editions. So you're going to have to try and figure that out yourself. I've given you the topic that we're reading on, and like I said, most of the material is going to be substantially the same between editions, but you're going to have to try and figure out, which chapter equals what chapter in your version if you don't have the edition that I've asked you to purchase. Our grading scale and supplies are down there. Obviously, you need a computer. A cell phone is not going to work for this class. You have to have computer access. There are some labs on campus. We will be using Microsoft Word as our submission program. So when you submit drafts to me, they need to be in .doc, .docx, or .rtf format. I don't have Microsoft Works, so I won't be able to read those documents if you try to submit those to me. You need to save them as a .rtf file, and then I will be able to read them, although we might lose some formatting. Information about late work and participation. Our drop dead date for this class is 11:59 on December 13th. I will not accept anything after that time. So make sure you have everything submitted. You do have to submit everything in order. So if you miss the third one-page write, I won't accept the fourth one-page write until I get the previous one from you. So you need to kind of make sure you're keeping up and that you are submitting things in the order that they're listed in the syllabus. Participation is tricky in an online class. If you are in a face-to-face course, you can just come to class and sit in the back and still get credit for attending. In an online class, that can't happen because I don't see you. So if you aren't responding to posts, if you are not submitting drafts, if you are not answering my messages, as far as I'm concerned, you don't exist. We have a lot of participation points in this course to try to encourage you to participate and to stay visible to me and to your classmates during the course of the semester. So be aware that if you are not online a couple times a week, I'm going to start to get concerned that you have left. If I do not hear from you in the first 4 weeks of the semester, you will be administratively withdrawn from the class. In addition, if you do not complete at least 75% of the coursework and you just kind of disappear, you will receive an F. I will just assume that you just decided not to complete the rest of the semester, and that will be that. Incompletes are only given in very rare instances, and you absolutely have to make the case for yourself. And you have to have completed 75% of the coursework in order to qualify for an incomplete. I can't just decide, oh, this person should get an I. I have to run it up the flagpole and ask about 20 people if that's okay before that can be done. So don't assume that just because you're submitting a few drafts here and there that all is hunky-dory. This is not a correspondence class. You're not doing it at your own pace. We have a schedule and everybody is on the same schedule, and if you miss a deadline, then you miss opportunities to get participation points from peer reviews and class discussions that we do on forums and things like that. So you really need to stay on top of the schedule and remember to participate when you're supposed to be participating with the things that you're supposed to be doing. Online classes are similar in some ways to social media because we are interacting with one another online and we're responding to ideas and posts and arguments. That said, W131 is a college level writing course. So the kinds of things that you can get away with on Instagram and Twitter, you can't really get away with in W131. Your posts need to be thoughtful and written as well as you are capable of writing. No abbreviations like BTW, LOL, IKR. We want to write at the college level. Likewise, we want to engage with one another in a mature academic fashion. So if somebody is completely opposite of your view on a topic, you still have to be respectful. You still have to be thoughtful. We don't want any flame wars, no trolling or anything like that. This is a college class and I expect you to interact with me and with each other in a respectful, thoughtful, academic manner. Page 3 of our syllabus has a lot of important campus policies. I mentioned administrative withdrawal. That is detailed on page 3. I also mentioned incompletes. I'm not going to go through all of these. They're kind of boilerplate language that I copied and pasted from the registrar, and you'll see these a lot because they're pretty much required on all faculty syllabi. But if you have any questions about any of them, I'm happy to answer. If you have any problems that I need to accommodate, let me know. All right, our major assignments, we have a lot of reading. This is an online class, so I'm not going to be lecturing. It's pretty much self-driven. You are going to have to figure out when you have time to read all of this stuff or watch videos, go through, quizzes, whatever it is I've posted for you to do that week. You really have to manage your own time and get that done. There will be a lot of readings from the textbook and readings that I will post in on course that are articles that you'll need to be responding to or using in your paper. We will also have discussion forums almost every week. I'll post a question or two and you will need to respond to that, and then also read classmates' responses and respond to those. The way OnCourse is set up, I have it locked, so you cannot see your classmates' posts until you have posted your own response. Each response is potentially worth, or each week it's potentially worth 10 points. You can get 4 for your own initial response to my prompt, and then you can receive up to 2 points for each response you make to a classmate's post. So if you respond really thoughtfully to 3 classmates and your initial post was really stellar, you can get 10 points right there. But if your initial post was kind of just okay and then you say something like, "Oh yeah, I agree," or "Very good, that's interesting," on 2 or 3 other classmates' posts, you are not going to get the full 10 points credit for that week's forum. I'm looking for thoughtful, helpful responses. If you can ask a good question that expands the conversation, if you can relate an experience that you've had that somehow exemplifies the issue at hand, if you can answer with information that you saw on TV or heard on the radio or something like that, to kind of add new ideas to the forum discussion, that's when I award full points. We will have a couple of quizzes. The first one is our syllabus quiz, so hopefully you're paying attention. Everything that is in the syllabus and the stuff we're going over in this video, all fodder for our syllabus quiz, which is due Sunday. Then we have some writing exercises that we may do in the assignments section of OnCourse. And then we have 6 major writing assignments. The first one is the one-page writes, which we'll go through in a minute. The next one is an image analysis essay. Then we have the midterm portfolio, summary, strong response. We end with our most complicated essay of the semester, that's a synthesis. And then we finish with the final portfolio. If you are not familiar with the portfolio system, it is a kind of a nice way to allow students to claim ownership of their work, to have some choices about what they're graded on, and also to take some risks without being punished for it. You will compile a collection of writing work that you will do this semester, and then you get to decide what you want to submit in your midterm and final portfolios. Obviously, you'll have more to choose from in the final, and the final is therefore worth a larger percentage of your grade. You also have the opportunity to revise a lot. If you take that opportunity, chances are good that you will improve your grade. And so I like the portfolio system. It really encourages students to make good decisions about their writing process, and they can get tons of feedback. I'm very happy to give you feedback on multiple drafts if you are feeling very judicious about your work. So that's kind of where we're headed. I'm not going to go through our entire schedule, but I do want to lay out kind of a couple things. First off, the way our schedule is laid out, there are 3 columns. And the first column is any reading that you need to do for the week, also any videos that you need to watch. I kind of treat those the same way as a reading. The center kind of gives you an idea of the overall topic for the week. And then the far right column is what is due, what I'm actually going to be grading you on for that week. So if you want to print out just the schedule part of the syllabus and hang that on your wall or something, it'll really help kind of keep you organized and on task and on track. I've organized it by week. Everything is going to be due by midnight on Sunday. So you need to make sure that you're thinking about what it is you need to be doing each week before Sunday afternoon. 'Cause sometimes it takes quite a bit longer to complete a draft than just a couple of hours. So be sure that you are maintaining a pretty good eye on the schedule and you know what is coming up. All right. We need to talk a little bit about OnCourse. The tools I use in OnCourse are the announcements, which I try to have an announcement every week just to remind you of what's due on Sunday. And if we have any changes to the syllabus, I'll put an announcement in. I'll probably also add a message to OnCourse Messages, which I use a lot. I will communicate both to the entire class and to you individually via OnCourse Messages. I do ask you to give me 24 hours to respond unless it's an emergency, in which case you can try and email me on my regular IUPUI email. You can give me a call on my office number. You can try to reach me in the Writing Center, as I said. In addition to announcements and messages, we use resources in OnCourse. There is so much stuff in resources, and that collection will only grow as this semester goes on. More folders will appear, and more documents will be included in those folders as we move through the semester. We will use forums to do class discussions, and that's where you will respond to a prompt from me, and then you'll also respond to your classmates' posts and hopefully give them some very helpful feedback and maybe some new perspectives, new ideas about the topics we're discussing. We may use assignments. I don't use it a lot. I find it rather cumbersome. We will be using tests and surveys for our quizzes. So if there's a quiz coming up, make sure you check that particular link. The gradebook should be enabled so that you can see all of the feedback, all of the points, and make sure that you don't have a bunch of zeros racking up, because those can hurt your grade in a hurry. I will have chat enabled. I don't tend to use it a lot, but if you want to talk to your classmates, that's a kind of a nice tool to have. All right, students sometimes get confused about evaluation in writing classes. They complain that it's subjective, and if the instructor doesn't like you, well, then you're going to get a bad grade. Online classes are kind of nice in that way because I will never see you. You all look alike to me. You look like this screen. So I'm very objective as far as your writing is concerned. I also will provide rubrics that will lay out exactly what I am looking for in the drafts that you're submitting, in the assignments that you're posting. So if you're not sure why you got a B or why you got a C when you thought you were going to get an A, check that rubric. And if you still have questions, let me know. I am very, very happy to answer questions. I like writing and I like students. That's why I've been here so long. So I am more than happy to answer questions about writing, about anything in the course, just about IUPUI in general. Send me an email or give me a call, and I will be happy to explain why you got the grade you got, what I was looking for that you didn't include, things like that. We will be using MLA citation style for this course. We have a number of MLA resources. There's a whole folder in OnCourse resources to help you with MLA citation and format. So if you're getting confused, you can check the folder. The Purdue OWL, if you're not familiar with it, another fabulous online resource. Lots and lots of information, not just about MLA, but about writing, about different types of documents, different formats, also about grammar. Students worry way too much about grammar as far as I'm concerned. I see grammatically perfect papers that still suck, and most of your teachers, including me, are much more interested in knowing that you are thinking at a high level, that you're reading critically, that you're developing a coherent, well-supported argument, than whether or not you know how to use apostrophes correctly. So that said, I don't want to see a paper that hasn't been revised or edited at all, but don't spend an hour trying to fix all your comma splices when you don't have a thesis statement, or your introduction is really weak and bland, or you have plagiarized an entire paragraph. Those are much more important things to worry about than a dangling modifier or a split infinitive. I don't care. Okay. Finally, the Writing Center. As I said, I'm the assistant director in there. It's a very good resource for students. And there are some online sessions available. So if you're not on campus very much, check out the website. And the link is in on-course resources. It will really help you improve your writing process. The tutors in there are just fabulous, wonderful people, very helpful, and very happy to help students improve their work. All right, last thing, the one-page writes. That is going to be our first set of major assignments. The one-page writes are 5 short papers that are basically responses to readings or videos that you're going to be watching over the next 5 weeks. We are starting off with a response to a SpongeBob SquarePants episode. As I said, I have kids, so I've watched a lot of SpongeBob. And the particular episode that I'm asking you to watch is called Procrastination. The link is on the assignment sheet, but you can also Google it. It is all about the problems that you can face when you are given a writing assignment. And you are going to be writing a one-page response about the problems that come up when you're trying to complete a writing assignment. What should you avoid when you are writing if you want to do well in a college-level writing course? So the prompt is on the assignment sheet. These 5 papers will all be in MLA citation style, MLA format. You can argue against the whole premise. You can compare the topic to something that has happened to you in your life. You can identify a specific detail in the video or the article later on that interests you and explain why. These responses are just to kind of get you thinking and to provide some material for you to work with later on in the semester as you start revising for the midterm portfolio. I believe that's it. So, 3 things are due for this first week of classes. I probably won't be doing too many more videos this semester, maybe 1 or 2 more. So don't expect me to run down the due dates for every week, but this week you need to complete the first one-page write. You need to respond to the forum posts in OnCourse, and you need to complete the syllabus quiz, which is in the tests and surveys section of OnCourse. So good luck this semester, and I will look forward to reading all of your writing. Thank you.